Thank you. Pildat has categorized the conduct or performance of the 15th National Assembly as weakening democracy in the country because some of the things and some of the laws which they passed uh, in the last few weeks of their existence. And it was not only the kind of laws they passed, it was also the manner in which those laws were passed. For example, the Pakistan Army Amendment Bill is one of them, which directly relates to the fundamental rights of the citizens. And it was very hurriedly passed without much debate. Elections Amendment Bill itself was something which was not debated as much as it should have been debated. The powers of the caretaker government were enhanced, and there was a strong difference of opinion within the assembly. With the limited time made available to them, people opposed it and they had to go back and further amend it. But still, I think granting more powers to the caretaker government remains contrary to the very spirit of the law, which was that the caretaker governments will only be there to assist the Election Commission of Pakistan in the conduct of election, nothing more. So giving them more powers runs contrary to that. So third one was the Cantonment Amendment Act, which was again something which was granting further, I think, permission to do some commercial activity within cantonments. It also needed to be discussed in detail, and it was not. And lastly, the Official Secrets Act was something very important. It has a direct bearing on fundamental rights. So therefore, that also needed to be discussed more in detail. And because all these laws were passed eventually, that's why we say that they have compromised democracy, and basically their conduct was equivalent to weakening democracy in the country rather than strengthening it. And I'm glad that at least one of those laws, which would have further aggravated the state of democracy in the country, that was what Prevention of Violent Extremism Bill, and that was presented. But so much hue and cry was raised by the members that eventually it was withdrawn. In fact, it was the chairman of the Senate who dropped it from the agenda, and later on the government decided not to retable it. So all these things indicate a kind of attitude which was not pro-democracy, it was working contrary to democracy. And that's why we are saying that this 15th National Assembly has ended up weakening democracy in the country. We have compiled this attendance figures of leaders of the House and leader of the opposition, especially, but not necessarily everyone within the Assembly. Therefore, I do not have Bilawal Bhutto Zardari's attendance record handy, but I can tell you that Mr. Imran Khan has the lowest attendance among all the prime ministers which we had been studying since 2002, 11%. Even Mr. Nawaz Sharif, whom we considered that he has the lowest attendance record, but he had 14 or 15% attendance, which is still better than Imran Khan's 11%. And Shahid Khaqan Abbasi was about 19%, which is even better. But I think the best of all in the past four assemblies was Mr. Yusuf Raza Gilani. Sayyid Yusuf Raza Gilani had an attendance record of more than 75%. And not only that, he attended almost very regularly, but he also tried to answer the supplementary questions which were raised by the parliamentarians whenever he was around and whenever he could. So his level of interest was much higher than the others. Mr. Shahbaz Sharif, his attendance record is also better than that of Imran Khan. That is, I think, that is about 17%. So that is still better than Imran Khan's and even better than Nawaz Sharif's.